on your path to success, a lot of people are going to be negative. A lot of people are not going to understand you, especially if you have some sort of grand vision. People are not going to resonate with that very well. And a lot of people are going to either unintentionally or intentionally try to knock you off your pivot. And listen, it's not really their fault. It's your fault if you fall because it is up to you to protect yourself and your own energy, right? So if you have a bunch of friends that are negative and like to partake in negative activities, but you, on the other hand, are looking to upgrade your life and basically, kind of you're on a path to greatness, you're pursuing greatness. If you trip up and you revert back to your old habits, it's completely 100% on you because at the end of the day, they're going to do whatever they need to do regardless of if you're there or not. So if you say no, let's say it's Friday. So, your friends want to go out, it's the weekend. They want to go out drinking. Maybe they want to go to the bar or they want to go to the club or whatever. They want to go to a party. They want to do one of those things and say, hey, yo, why don't you come along with us? It's been a while. You haven't popped out in a while. Why don't you come out? We're going to party with so and this. And this girl's going to be there and we're going to drink this. And, in your head, you might be tempted. I'm not saying that, you wouldn't be tempted by those vices because, again, going out partying, all those things, it's technically it is a bunch of vices. I'm not saying you wouldn't be tempted, but it is completely 100% your prerogative to say no to that. And guess what? Even if you say no, yeah, they might, give you a little flack for it. They might talk a little shit. Oh, why don't you come with us? Blah, blah, blah. Or stop being such a this and that. Or stop being a bitch. But once you get past that little, like little shit talking session, they're just going to go and enjoy their night regardless, right? And guess what? You're not gonna go. You're gonna go to sleep early. You're gonna end up waking up early. Even if you go to sleep a little bit later, you're not going out drinking, so you're not gonna feel like shit the next day. You're likely gonna go to the gym, whereas they are gonna go to the party or bar or whatever, the club. They're gonna end up drinking. They're gonna end up staying up very late. They're gonna end up going home late, getting poor quality sleep, and they're gonna wake up. They're gonna eat shit food. They're not gonna go to the gym most likely. They're gonna be hungover for the next 1 to 2, 3 days, right? And because you were able to say no and you were able to protect your own energy, now guess what? Look, you're in a better off position because if they're hungover, let's say they go out on Friday. Friday is a wasted day for them. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, most likely, it took them 3 days to kind of get back alive and get back into the rhythm of things because obviously they messed up their flow by on Friday, getting poor sleep, drinking, whatever. You, on the other hand, you went to sleep on time on Friday, you went to the gym. You went to the gym on Saturday, you woke up on time. The same thing on Sunday, and on Monday, you're already built on that momentum, right? So how very quickly things can shift when you sacrifice all these weekends. Let's say you sacrifice 4 weekends in a row, you don't do anything. And of course, with the notion that you are also very locked in and doing the things that you're supposed to do. You're using these weekends to your advantage. You're not just staying at home and playing video games. Listen, you can play a little bit video games at the end of the day. I'm not saying you can't enjoy your weekends, but I am saying trying to go to sleep at the right time and waking up at the right time on your weekends and not drinking and avoiding going out and just kind of wasting your time with all of this with these social events going around. And listen, if you're in your 20s, you know exactly what I'm talking about because this is when a bulk of these social interactions are happening. People are always going out, people always want to do such and such. Or maybe, you don't have that issue. Well, that's good for you because I would say you're avoiding a whole slew of problems by not having to go out and socialize and go to parties and this and that. But at the same time, now I want to talk about, having negative friends around you or negative people in general. It doesn't have to be friends, it could be family members too, right? These people are either going to intentionally or unintentionally bring you down. And what do I mean by that? I mean, it's when you try to tell them, "Hey, I want to do this." For example, I want to do day trading. I wouldn't suggest that you tell anyone that you day trade just because it's less stress on your head. But let's say you do. You tell your friend or your family member, "Hey, I'm doing day trading." They're going to project their own insecurities onto you and tell you, "No, don't do that. Look, 90% of people fail, blah, 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 whatever." Like they're gonna tell you all the things, all the reasons in the book. And listen, they might have great intentions to tell you those things. Of course, someone has to tell you, the downsides to whatever scenario, right? But at the end of the day, they're just projecting their own insecurities on you because you have to realize that yes, day trading is tough. Yes, maybe statistically speaking, 90% of traders fail. But at the end of the day, there are 10% of traders that do end up winning, or they do end up becoming profitable, right? And over a long period of time. Why can't you be part of the 10%, right? So you gotta shift the way you think about things, and having those people around you, or listen, I'm not saying to cut your friends off. I'm not saying to cut your family members off. It's just having the ability to to differentiate between, okay, this is my friend, and he is most likely not going to, doesn't have the same sort of mindset that I do. That just means I have to spend less time with him, because in order for me to reach the next level, I need to surround myself with people that are like-minded, or have similar ambitions to me, because then only can I really grow and go to the next level. This is something that I actually struggled with a lot in my early 20s. I'm 28 now. So yeah, I've had quite a lot of time with this, where I think I stunted a lot of my growth by hanging out with people that just necessarily, they just want to live average lives. And listen, that's fine. You can live an average life if that's what you choose, if that's what you want to do. But me, on the other hand, I could never. Every day I'd wake up and I just hate the way I was living, because I knew I was capable of more, of achieving more, but I kept kind of reverting back into these old habits, because I was hanging around all my old friends, and they again, like, they wanted to be average. They wanted to drink on the weekends, they wanted to party, this and that. And I kept kind of falling back into that cycle. It wasn't until recently where I finally been able to kind of just step back from all of that. Listen, I might pop out for someone's birthday. That's like a bigger event. Sure, I'll come through, I'll chill out maybe. But now I'm kind of at that point where it's just like, even birthdays are kind of questionable. And it's, again, I understand you should balance life as well. This is obviously the counter argument to what I'm saying right now. But at the end of the day, if you want to achieve something of worth noted, something of greatness, perhaps, you have to make some sacrifices. And that might be, cutting out all the negative people in your life, because at the end of the day, those people are going to project their insecurities onto you whenever you are trying to thrive. And some people might even, get a little envious when you start to see a little bit of success, or maybe for example, I'm making these YouTube videos now. So someone, maybe one of my old friends, might look at this and be like, damn, like, this guy is starting to get a little more confident in his own skin. That's not something that I could do myself. So now subconsciously they might feel a little envy towards me. Again, I'm not saying that's the case, but it could very well be the case for me, or for any one of you watching this video that is looking to kind of expand your horizon and do something that's out of your comfort zone. Be prepared to, feel this negativity, because at the end of the day, people want to kind of keep you at their level, right? They don't want to see you ascend to the next level. So keep that in mind, protect your own energy, and stay frosty, my friends.